if you guys are like me when you go to the doctor and you know you're going to get weighed, but I don't ever wear jewelry. I wear the lightest clothes in my closet I can possibly find to help the scale. Welcome to Three Little Fishes. We're three sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
And I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children. We've all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
We've all been through ups and downs that come along with life and have always helped each other through, shared stories, and laughed together.
We welcome all of you into our daily conversations and hope you have some fun with us.
So let's jump in.
Hi, guys. So good to see you.
Hello, Nancy. Linda.
Hello, Kathy, Nancy. Nice to see you.
So we'll do a quick little catch up with me from the last time we left each other. So Johanna had her orchestra concert. She's learning the violin, my little third grader. And honestly, I was kind of dreading this recital with all these new instruments, but it was super cute. It was super cute. And her beaming face when she saw us walk in, I was like, oh, it was adorable.
You have a performer. You have a performer in your house. I don't know why this is surprising to you. Every time she gets to be in front of people, she like lights up like, the whole world is shining down on her. Get that girl in pictures.
She's
a movie star in the making.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there going to be a Hollywood to even put her in Hollywood? I don't know. Well, that's another podcast.
I didn't know, Nancy, she played the violin.
Yeah. So she spends all school year long, she's been learning the violin. Yeah.
Oh, well, this was news to me.
Yeah. So super cute. And then through Girl Scouts, she had a Taylor Swift dance that she got to go to with Tim, and she got to dress up in all the Taylor Swift glitter that she could, find. So that was pretty amazing. And she said it was the best dance ever. So that was high praise. And then Riley had soccer over the weekend, all weekend long. But the bonus with that was of driving everywhere is that his team won all his games. So that's always fun. And then I have a physical that I have not talked to you guys about. I'm not going to go into detail about my health, but I want to give you this little side note. So I don't know if you guys are like me when you go to the doctor and you know you're going to get weighed, but I don't ever wear jewelry. I wear the lightest clothes in my closet I can possibly find to help the scale. So as I go in and the nurse is weighing me, and then she asked me for my height. And I say very confidently, I am 5'2". And she looks at me and she's like, do you mind if we check? Do you mind if we redo your height? Oh. And I was like, sure. I'm like, sure, we can check. And y'all, I am not 5'2". I am just under 5'1". And I was shocked. Under 5'1". I was shocked. I mean, shocked to the point where she did it twice because I didn't believe her.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Yeah.
Well, so maybe
Are you shrinking?
Yeah, that's my question. Have I never been 5'2", or have I been 5'2" and I'm shrinking? So I tell this to Tim, and he sends me a clip of that 80s movie with Lily Tomlin, The Incredible Shrinking Woman. Yeah, is that me? Am I the incredible shrinking woman?
Well, Nancy, you've had back issues, so maybe you shrunk a little.
That's true.
Something's wrong. I am just under 5'1". I'm catching up to Mom. And no offense, Mom, but that's not the direction I want to go.
Maybe you should be like hanging upside down or something.
I don't know. Kathy, what about you? What's happening there?
Well, over the weekend, we had a lot of lacrosse. I did play golf this weekend, so that meant it was nice and warm. It's finally warm in Philadelphia. And my yard person came today to do fertilization, weed control. And I went out there and I was like, we've had this service for like many years. And every year I'm like, do these chemicals, they're actually supposed to be like earth friendly chemicals, but I'm always like, I don't think they're really doing anything. And I said to him, we have a lot of dandelions and I hate those. And he's like, I said, I thought we had like a pre-emergent like application so we don't get these like, nasty weeds in the spring. Because it costs a lot of money to like have this winter like program.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, that program doesn't kill those weeds. I'm like,
Oh.
well, like I almost started laughing. I'm like, so those chemicals don't kill the dandelions. So what do? He's like, oh, we have to spot treat them. And I'm like, okay. And then we have this other chemical we have to pay for. I'm just like, is it just a racket? That'll be $100 extra if you want the dandelions killed. But if you want the crabgrass, we got you covered. I mean, it's like
you're half there.
And then, I had my mammogram today.
Oh,
speaking of doctor visits,
boob health is important. Boob health is essential.
Really fun time. Well, I don't have a lot of that, so when you try and pinch something that it's not really there, I mean, it freaking hurts.
Yeah, yeah, it does hurt. I don't have a lot either.
She's like, "Don't move, don't move." I'm like, "Oh God, you're killing me." So anyway, but it is very important, and I actually was overdue, and I didn't realize it. Like I really have faithfully always gone and got them every year, but I actually was like due in December of 22.
Yeah,
so
I think
COVID kind of messed everybody's time.
Yeah.
Well, I think I did get messed up, and then having it in December, I think just threw me off. So at least now I'm back in like April.
Did you do the 3D one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So all's well, but that was not that fun today. Linda, what's going on with you?
Well, right now I'm sitting on my porch, my screened-in porch, and my young dog is trying to get out here, and he's scratching at the door like a lunatic. So it's, I realize, it's the end of April, it's the beginning of May, and that means there's like lots of year-end stuff going on. I got my first graduation invitation in the mail today, and we just had prom. So we had prom on Saturday at our school. It's junior senior prom. And I knew I was going to talk to you guys about prom. We've kind of talked about it. I've sent pictures to you guys and stuff. And I looked up what prom is about. And prom is short for promenade. And in the back in the day, like 1800s, people would go they would promenade, their wealthy families would promenade their kids in their finest clothing right before a big dinner party. And then it moved from that to seniors in college having a tea, and they would get dressed up. And then it graduated from that to high school. So it's, really a rite of passage. I think it's really become a rite of passage. And, we did all the things. We got the tuxedo, we got the shoes, we got the flowers. We had to get the matching tie. We we went over to one of the country clubs here, and all these kids were there to do pictures. And I said to our son, I said, you go pick up your date. Make sure you open the door. Did you get the car cleaned? Yes. Okay. Because she doesn't want to get her nice dress dirty. Like, remind this child of like, don't be an animal. So he's like, you're gonna, yeah. I mean, come on. And then I said, Dad and I will meet you over at the club to take pictures. And he was like, what? I mean, are you guys supposed to do that? And I was like, listen, you are my third child. I've been to a few of these. I'm going to pictures. And it was quite a scene. All the kids looked amazing. These ladies today, they wear their long gowns. They look like princesses. They're
Aw.
gorgeous. They're gorgeous. And you know what I really notice is color is the thing this year. There was a yellow dress, a pink dress, red, Kelly green, orange, blue. I mean, there
Yeah.
was not a black dress to be found. It was all about like candy colors, and they were
Yeah.
spectacular.
Sounds
Yeah,
yeah,
So,
nice.
the pictures you sent were sweet.
yeah, they were great. And then, of course, they went to dinner and they went downtown in Nashville to a restaurant. And then they stopped at our house and dropped their bathing suits and whatever other things they needed for later. And then they went to the party and then they came back to our house, which of course was this big rigmarole because at one point D3 wanted to charge people $5 to come to our house so we could make some money and it would be a rager. And I was like, oh my gosh, we are not having a rager. You can have 20 children here, and I better know them, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we did have that. And so, my husband and I, we stayed up until 2 in the morning to make sure everybody was okay. We watched Harry Potter in our sweatpants and like looked outside every once in a while to make sure everybody was like A-okay.
Behaving.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
That
That's
sounds
nice
Yeah,
fun.
that you all did that. Those,
it
like I
was.
said, those pictures were really sweet, and everybody looked gorgeous, like you said. But I was struck by there was one girl not paired up that I
Yes.
noticed, and she
Yep.
looked gorgeous. And then
She did, and
it
she came to
brought
our house
back,
later. Mhm.
it brought back raging anxiety about my own prom, and so I've been thinking about it. I had such anxiety about my prom. So I had a group of friends in high school for sure. I was not a loner, but I
Mm.
was not like the classic beauty. I wasn't always dating. I struggled with my acne. I felt like I could play connect the dots on my face. And I was dyslexic, newly discovered, and just, not feeling great in my own skin. And I was talking to my friends, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get asked. And, we're all hemming and hawing, like, are we going to be able to go to prom? And we had made this pact that no matter what, we would all go to prom together, and we would all just go as a group. Whoever had dates or not, we would just make it. We always did things in a group anyway.
Mhm.
So I tell this to our parents, and mom and dad had very strong opinions that
Like,
I
they
was
stripped the gear, right?
they totally were like, no, unless you're asked or you have a date, you're not going. So, and immediately my anxiety came flying back. And I was like, I'm going to be the only one who doesn't go to prom. You know how you do as a teenager, but
Yeah,
I'm
you
Yeah.
spiral,
spiraling. I'm totally spiraling. Like, this is terrible. I'm going to be
right? You're the only
excluded.
one.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
my friend group was my life. Like, what am I going to do? And so back in those days, I had friends that were also who didn't go to our high school. And I remember this one Saturday night, we were out and I was talking to my friend, and I was like, we're talking about prom. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't have a date. And he's like, and basically, it turns out we're talking, but I think I asked him to prom. Like, it was one of those things where it was like, oh, do you want to come with me? You can come to our prom. He's like, yeah, I would like to come to your prom, which was easy because he knew all my friends, and it was just a friend group anyway. So it worked out, and I think we had a good time. Like, I remember it being, but I did like look at that picture of that girl, and I was like, like the raging anxiety about like, you want to make sure you're at the party if and
Yeah.
be a part of it. But like, also it feels like it's all these hoops and all
Yeah,
this social pressure. And,
it is.
I don't know, fast forward, like, I guess it worked out, like asking this boy, my friend, to prom, because years later, I was used to asking boys out anyway, I guess, because Tim was and we met right out of college, and we worked for a public television station. Do you guys remember this? And
I
the
do.
the Emmys were there, and I was like, oh, I'll go to the Emmys with you. So I invited myself to the Emmys, and fast forward, we've been married forever. So sometimes not being traditional.
It works out.
It worked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what also was kind of changed, I think, since like I am coming up on my 40th high school reunion. But what's changed is these kids do these promposals. Have you heard these, Nancy? Because your son's young, but like these promposals are like they could be kind of elaborate. They put together like a handmade poster, or they sing a song, or they bring like something
Yes.
that goes with it. So D3 did do that with this date, even though he had secured the date like a month before. And it's so, I mean, I know that Kathy, you had your junior just did a promposal, right?
Yes. So, it's funny, talking about like mom and dad, because mom actually called and was like, I sent her Trevor's promposal, and she was like, when did kids start doing this? Like, she was really like, that
Yeah.
took a lot of effort. She's like, do a lot of kids do that? I said, well, it kind of is a thing now. And then I started thinking about it and I looked it up. And I think there, like, there's a lot of different opinions about when it started, but I think it started like around 2001. It
Mm-hmm.
was like Dallas reported it in a newspaper about how these proposals are getting like a marriage proposal.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like the promposals going viral, like, being able to see it on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that really happened in 2007.
Yeah.
So people like upload their stuff and they can see it. But yeah,
So for
so
our viewers who didn't see it, what did Trevor do?
so okay, let me tell you like how I kind of became aware that he was even I knew he wanted to ask this girl, but I didn't realize he was going to do a promposal. And then last week he wanted to go get a few things. And I was like, okay,
He needed some gear.
supplies.
Yeah.
So he went and got, like, I saw the swords, but I really didn't see much else. But
Swords.
I knew he'd gotten like a big cardboard like piece of paper, which ended up being like a scroll. So he was down in our basement, like, you know, penciling out everything that he was going to say and, you know, artistically painting it in. So he worked on that for days down in the basement. I wasn't privy to like what it was until after the fact, but he had
Yeah.
gone over to the girl's house. So basically, it was like a medieval like time.
Yeah. He was like a
Proposal.
knight, right? Like that was
He
his
was like
thing.
he was like a king, really.
Oh, he was the king. Oh, pardon
Yeah.
me.
So,
King Trevor.
but like one of his
Read everything.
esquires like
Yeah.
read everything to her, and then some other friends joined in and they held the swords, and then another friend held some flowers for her. I mean, it was quite cute. I thought it was I thought
Very
it was
elaborate. Yeah.
yes.
I mean, does he like this girl?
I don't know. I mean, Trevor said that I think one of her friends kind of suggested this to Trevor. So I think that's kind of like the whole thing got rolling in the first place.
Yeah.
So I
No, I
said to
get
him,
it.
like,
Yeah.
were you like worried she'd say no? And he's like, no, mom, I think she was going to say yes. I said, well, good thing.
She was adorable. Like you sent us all a video and we got to watch it, and I showed Johanna and I watched it together. And I thought who I don't know who his date's name is, but I feel bad calling her the girl. But
Yeah. No, she was super cute.
the date was super cute, and she was over the moon excited. You could tell. And then my Johanna was like, "Where do you get crumbs like that?"
Ask Aunt Kathy.
I will find out, Johanna.
So So she was all
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what's so interesting though about the promposal? Like for me, when I was in high school until I was maybe a senior, I mean, I always went to all the dances, but they're always kind of awkward. And I think I would be kind of like embarrassed or like uncomfortable if someone did this. But it's such a trend, it's expected. Like Jack had secured his date and he did his promposal right before he left for nationals because she wanted a promposal. You know what I mean?
yeah.
There's
I think
no
I'd ra-
discomfort about it. What I would have felt like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Why is everybody at my house waiting for me to say yes or no? And what if I don't want to go? You know what I
I
mean? I
think
just feel like, I don't know.
I think I honestly kind of feel the same. Like I would be embarrassed a little bit. I think I'd rather prefer like the letter method, yes or no.
Yeah,
Like just
check
pass
yes
it
or
to
no.
me.
But you guys we're like old now. Like, but think about it like from their perspective. They're in high school. Everybody's talking about this. You want to
Yeah.
have your own story to
Yeah,
tell. Like you
well, that's
want
true.
to be able to be like, yes, I got my prom proposal and this is what he did and I have a crown now. Like, you know what
Right,
I mean? Like
right.
you want to be a part of that story. So I totally get it. And I'm sure that she was over the moon that she got that.
Yeah,
And then I
she
think of
was.
that there's other people who are like, am I going to get a prom proposal? Like,
I
Yeah.
you know,
know.
like the other side of it, right? So,
Yeah, but I will say, like after our prom, um, there were several kids that came that did not go to the dance because of one thing or another. Like one kid's date was girlfriend was, at a volleyball tournament, and somebody else
Yeah.
went to a different school or whatever. And
yeah.
so I do. I mean, I feel like I mean, for as online as these kids are, they are fairly socially sophisticated. And I'm glad that they all went. And I'm glad that they came and hung out. It made me happy to see
Yeah.
these
I
kids
mean,
have fun together, you know?
I
Yeah.
think at like our school here, I do think that a lot of kids just go if they don't have a date, they just
Yeah.
go together. Like I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think you have to have a date. Um,
It's
I
not
don't know.
judged. Is that
I
what
don't.
you're saying?
I Yes, I don't think it's judged.
Well, that's
So
nice. So everybody feels like they can go and be a part of the social aspect of it. So,
the
Yeah.
only thing that is a little bit strange is prom here is not now. It's not till June when school is out.
That's
oh,
really weird.
So it
I
kind of
think
like
that's
to me
weird.
is like a weird
yeah.
like dynamic. But
Yeah.
I think
I
they
don't
do that.
know.
I think maybe one time, or maybe it's been more than one time. I think some kids got in trouble and then they were like, what do we do about graduation? Do these kids, we don't let them graduate? Like, is there kind of a consequence for
I mean,
some
listen,
behavior?
prom classically is that time where somebody gets into an accident, there's
Right.
drinking and driving. We got the email from the principal about prom and safety and all the things. And,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, I kind of joked with you girls, like, because I didn't want this big party. I'm like, I cannot have people like doing stuff at my house and be responsible. I can't handle it. So,
No, it's
but I
tricky,
do
right?
think it's
Because,
weird not to have it during school because you're kind of
yeah.
over it. Like you get
Yeah.
done with school and you're like, okay, I don't want to go back to school,
Yeah.
even if it is for prom. I don't know.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
Well, prom's not held at school, it's held off campus, which is another reason why I think they try and just wash their hands of it, like to not
I
have
think
any.
that seems pretty weak of the school, to be quite
Yeah,
frank. Like that comes from a pretty weak stance of like, that's not being a great leader. Like you
I
are going
agree.
to do it after the school year to make sure you can be like, oh, if anything goes wrong, the school year's over.
Not my
That's on
problem.
whoever. Right. Like, so I'm
Yeah.
not impressed with that, but
Although
they're not
having it
asking
at
me.
school is tough too. I mean, no matter how hard you try, the gymnasium still looks like the gymnasium.
Right.
But
Well,
I
they,
know that there's our
So,
prom here is Riley can't go because he's too young, but it's not on campus, but it's at the end of the school year. Like it's
yeah.
coming up, but it's not on campus.
So the freshmen and sophomores, they don't go to prom either here, but they have a dance, and they held it at the lower school gym, which honestly is not that. I mean, they could. I feel like they can do a little better.
There's not enough like decorations to make the gymnasium look great.
Right.
But that's just my opinion. Well, anyway, I'm grateful that prom has come and gone, to be totally honest. It was a lot of like wind up and anxiety on everybody's part. And
Well, it sounds like it went very well. That's good.
it went great. I think everybody had a really good time, but I'm glad it's over. And now I can move on to other things like graduation parties and, all those fun things. But in the meantime, the big thing that I have going on this week is Thursday. Our friend from Chicago is coming down to celebrate his birthday. And so this afternoon, I'm making chocolate cupcakes to test out this recipe that he wants me to make for his birthday cake.
So Todd is our family friend who lives in Chicago, and we love Todd. And Todd is like one of us, so it's always fun when one of us or all of us get to see him.
Yeah.
And he loves, if you are from the Chicago area, he loves Portillo's chocolate cake. Mm-hmm. And Linda did some research and found out that part of their secret ingredient is mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise. Yeah. And so Tim and I had like a big conversation about it because he's like, well, Nancy, what is mayonnaise? It's eggs and it's oil. And I'm just like, do you put eggs and oil in cake? And I'm like, yes, but I don't like, I can't wrap my head. Right. I can't honestly wrap my head around it. And it honestly makes me, I just don't quite get it. So I will be interested to see how your test works out.
Well, so I'm going to make them this afternoon, and I'm going to take some to our friend in Franklin and then feed them to the boys. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll let you know. I actually am not a huge
like the texture. Fan. You both don't like the texture of it, probably.
I mean,
correct.
Grosses you out.
Yes. For me, for sure.
I mean, I eat mayonnaise, but I don't eat a lot of it. I think it's kind of disgusting, but it does serve its purpose. So I am going to use it, and I am going to make this recipe as is, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, well, let us know.
To be determined.
To be determined. Okay, girls, what's for dinner tonight, Kath?
I'm going to try Jill's steak flank.
Yeah, it's good. You're going to love it.
Like the flank. Did I say that wrong? Flank steak.
You said it backwards, but that's okay. We all know what you're saying. What about you?
It's marinating. It's been marinated since yesterday. So we're doing that.
I love it.
Baked potato. I'm making a salad and maybe some corn.
Nice. You're fancy. Salad.
That. I'm doing stir-fried chicken.
Oh, I'm doing something similar.
Yeah, I'm going to do rice with it, like make a little rice bowl, I think. What are you doing?
Sounds good.
I'm doing kung pao chicken.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
A little spice.
Yeah. A little Chinese takeout without the takeout.
Yeah, that sounds good. What recipe is that?
I love this site. Once Upon a Chef.
Oh, me too. I love her.
I used her so much. I love her too.
I do too.
So I got it from there.
Will you put the link at the bottom? Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and everybody knows Jill's flank steak recipe we already posted that.
So. Yeah. People can find Jill's recipe in the show notes of our last episode.
We want to thank you for listening to our podcast and letting us sisters jump into your day. Please make sure to like and subscribe to us. Sisters out.